Okay, so new lesson for today. So log into your Onshape account and then click on Learning Center. Okay, so detach that tab and then split up your screen. Okay, so instead of going to self-paced courses this time, you could actually go to your My Dashboard and then you'll see the activities that you've done so far. If you click on Learning Pathway, then you'll see Introduction to CAD, the one that you've been working on. Click on Continue Learning Path. And then you are close to getting a certificate. Okay, so we're in Introduction to Assembly Design right now. So click Continue. And then it'll say that you have to watch several videos. The first one is Introduction to Assembly. It's the same thing that you learned before with Autodesk Inventor assemblies, but there are some nuances, some differences on how things are done. And then you have a self-check, and then the next one is how to insert parts to an assembly and how to position parts in an assembly. And the positioning parts is has some unique things here that you need to learn. So watch this video. And then when you're done, go to exercise, insert a part. Okay, so I'm gonna switch this to, because I'm just used to working on the right part of the screen. Okay, so hide this. So it says here, insert and rotate an instance exercise. So just click. It says here, open the public document, exercise universal joint, and make a copy. So click on this link. It will open it up like so. Open up another instance of this screen, so I don't need this, but this is what I need. So I'm just gonna drag this out. Okay, it says this document is view only, make a copy. So click on make a copy, and then okay. But before I do that, here's the history on how this part was made. So if you want to study it, here it is, and then the part's name is called Universal Joint Flange. So make a copy of this. So it says exercise, universal joint, copy, okay. All right. So here we are now. So we have a part studio and all of the things that was done to make this part. All right, next. Next part says is select the plus sign in the bottom left of the document and choose create assembly. So down here, here's the plus sign. Click that and then say create an assembly. So now you have an assembly. So we exited from the joint assembly. So if I click here, so there's the part studio. And then when I click here, here's the assembly. Okay, it's empty right now. Next slide, insert. So it says there, navigate to the assembly tab. So here's the assembly tab. And insert a part in the assembly. Select the insert. Okay, here's the insert. And then it says here, choose the current document, and part studios. So click here if they're not in there yet. And be sure, and then click the universal joint flange. So this one, universal joint flange. Click on this one. So an instance is made right here. So what you do is just click into the graphics area, just click anywhere, and then it's set there, and then accept the dialog. So click the check. Okay, so next step. So select the part to display the triad manipulator. So the unique thing about Onshape is that they have this triad manipulator, which enables you to move the object very precisely. So if I click anywhere, here's my triad manipulator, and there are boxes and then arrows, and then you have these circles with extensions. So I want you to play with that. So notice that when I move this, it actually moves in this plane. So up, down, left, right, but maintaining the position. So by clicking on those and then dragging, you're actually able to move the object. Okay, here's a unique one. Click at this circle with this extensions, arms, you could actually move it like so. So what I want to do is I just want to orient it the way it looks like on this screen. So by using those, so that's one. I could also try to rotate. It's not necessary, but this is actually good practice. And I say you zoom in so that you could actually see better. Okay, so that's an approximation. It doesn't really have to be. So click outside. All right. The next thing is, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to reposition this into the way that it should be. As you can see, the front, the right, and the top, this view cube didn't move at all. So it's different when you're moving it onto the view cube versus moving the object itself. What we're trying to do is we're trying to position the object the way it should be in the final assembly that we're trying to make. Okay, so now it says here, select the part to display the triad manipulator and drag and drop the triad to show the make connector point that is centered. So I'm gonna click here at the top somewhere, not at the center, but here to show the triad manipulator. Okay, there you go. And then you're supposed to move this towards the center. Okay, where? So notice as I move this, a make connector is going to show up here. The make connector looks like this one, make connector. Okay, so as I move this, the make connector, see right there, it showed up right there, and then it snaps to it. As I drag it to the center, it snaps to it. Okay, so now the center of the triad connector is now at the make connector. Okay, all right. And then now we need to right click at the center of the triad connector. So right click on this so that it will line up with the origin, which is right here on my document. So right click and then say move to origin, and notice how it actually moved to the origin. Okay, so I'm right here at this point. Okay, next slide. If you notice, my part looks different from this. It doesn't really matter. Just follow my example. And then we are supposed to align it with the z-axis, the up and down. Okay, so this one points to the z-axis. Okay, so here's the z, so it points up. And we just want it to be positioned in such a way that it looks like this view cube in its isometric view. So right click on this and then align with Z. There you go. Okay, and then the last thing you have to do, so I'm going to click outside. The last thing that you have to do on slide 7 is right click on any part, on any place of this part, and then say fix. So now it's fixed. So if I try to drag it, notice that thing shows up, that icon shows up saying that it's grounded. Okay, and that's it for today. So click on universal joint right here, universal joint flange, and click at the mask properties icon, and then you should get the following numbers. If you're not getting the following numbers right here, if you're not getting those numbers, you got it all wrong. You have to do it again. So what you have to do is line them up like that. I'll be looking at these numbers. Okay, so the actual numbers I want to see. Make a capture your name, capture the flange in its position that it should be, and then capture the mask properties. Okay, so I need to see 1, 2, and then these numbers. If they're wrong, please do it again. So when you go here now and you do begin the self-check, you'll actually see where it is from here. Click on it and then you're done.